Beware the Court of Owls that watches all the time, ruling Gotham from a shadowed perch, behind granite and lime. They watch you at your hearth, they watch you in your bed. Speak not a whispered word about them, or they'll send the Talon for your head.
Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And we're back to cover episode 16 of season 3 of Fox's retelling of the Dark Knight mythology, entitled The Primal Riddle.
Wrong episode title, Tiki.
What, really?
Yes.
Really? Entitled, I apologize, folks. This is very embarrassing. I have the mask on and everything. Oh, yes, you're right. Next week is the Primal Riddle. This week is entitled These Delicate and Dark Obsessions. So join us as we venture into Batman's birthplace.
And explore Gotham.
Dragon, I think for that I need some time in the labyrinth, don't you?
Yes.
I think I need to be punished.
2 years will do you good.
All right. So, folks, we've got a lot to go over, not a lot of time, so let's jump right into it, Dragon. Let's get right into Gotham. This week was a very big kind of, the Court of Owls is officially, like, a big fixture of the show, and Gordon's getting involved, and it's all very exciting, so let's dive right into it, Dragon. Awesome cold open this week. What is it?
Honestly, one of the best cold opens in the series, I gotta tell you.
I think so.
The Court of... Oh, God, they're all gathered. The Court of Owls is gathered.
The masks are wonderful,
Yes.
Dragon. I think the costume design is really, really good.
I don't know if they've improved the mask over time, because I think this is like the best the mask I've ever...
I was going to ask you that, right, because we have the visual representation of what it looked like in the comic right here, and this is like a much more simple design, but I got to tell you, I kind of like the more like elegant, kind of like creepy, almost Illuminati-like design that they have here. I do really like it.
I'm convinced that they've changed it and they made it a whole lot better now, because before, I remember in season 2, which makes sense, they've improved since like kind of the ending tease at season 2, is that I think Catherine's mask is like really big because they may or may not have had an actress at that point, so I can't remember if it's the same. I want to say it's the same one. The point is you had like a really big poofy mask. It kind of covered her hair a little bit.
Right.
And now the main detail I'm seeing that's really impressing me is like, and we see it with every other person. I guess maybe that's what either made it look better or whatnot, because we see it on more people. But I love how they have the little beak detail, like the little ivory beak.
Yeah, like right
like
there,
here,
like that little imprint.
Yeah, basically it's like that. What if like that was the end of the mask? It's kind of the look they're working with on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're here. Basically, it's like what if all the space around like the beak was gone? That's it. You know, it's like
right. Yeah.
The point is, it's a really cool design. It's just so awesome to see those classic shots from Court of Owls realized. And
kind of reminds me of what's that movie? I always forget the movie title. The Kubrick one. Eyes Wide Shut.
Yes.
It kind of reminds me of Eyes Wide Shut in that secret society. Anyways,
it's so cool to see them all with the masses, like those classic shots when they're all around the table, like in the photographs when Batman's going in the buildings in the comic and he's looking at like all the photos of like the owls around the Talon, which is really cool. And so the court's all gathered around and their masks are on because again it's like the end of the minute, it's kind of the ceremony of it all. And they had me so much with this opening is that what basically they're asking each other what to do about about Gotham's sickness of crime and violence. It requires drastic action with a weapon that will cleanse Gotham, so it can be rebuilt. So it can be rebuilt by the Court of Owls. Because again, Court of Owls does care about the city, which again they're keeping that from the comic. And then we get speaking of stuff from the comic, and I lost it when they did this. They brought up the model of the city. We had it homaged.
Right.
We had like a little reference to it in season 2. We were kind of going on about, no, they actually did the model. It's the actual model. The actual model of Gotham.
I think Walt Disney would be very stoked. Oh my, there's so much detail in this model of Gotham. I approve of it.
And what's so cool, it's not just like a random pull of, oh yeah, there was a model in the books we're doing here. But I love they added like some extra meaning to it. So basically, when the model comes up, this is like part of the ceremony here. They mention that the head of the court, who we'll talk about in speculation, the head of the court is calling for a unanimous vote. So they're all kind of casting their votes. And the way they cast their votes, when they cast their votes, the thing rises up, and then they have their owl feathers. Basically, the idea is because they're deciding the fate of the city, they're laying their feathers, the court's symbol of control, over the city.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
And I just love that. It's so creepy. They cast the votes, they pull like an owl feather down, and then of course Frank's the last holdout. Again, just the ultimate symbolism of the owls watching and controlling Gotham's fate, just on screen, and it's great. And then of course it ends with like the best cold open line:
Gotham must fall.
Judgment has been passed. Gotham must fall.
Yeah,
And basically, my reaction to a lot of stuff in this episode, but if I just distill the pull a little bit from Thor Ragnarok, yes.
If I can pull from Red Letter Media, oh my god!
I watched that again today just with the other stuff we're doing. I just kept watching.
Man, I can't stop watching that video. All right, they make. I think their 3-minute videos are the best videos they make. Sometimes watch Red Letter Media, folks, if you haven't already.
They broke new ground.
They broke new ground. All right.
Okay.
Seriously, if we want to joke about Red Letter Media, we should do it on the next podcast we're recording.
Okay, so meanwhile in the Himalayas.
Yes. Okay, so this is Ducard, right?
Well, here's the thing, Tiki. We don't have enough. He
never officially says his name.
Well, the Ben McKenzie, we should have mentioned this at the top of it, but we'll mention it real quick here. Is that Ben McKenzie directed this episode. It's his first time directing. I think he did a bang-up job. I think he did a bang-up job with it, and he did like a little making of thing, and he mentioned, and this is the thing the show's going with. Like, officially, this character is called the Shaman, and the way Ben McKenzie said it suggested, oh yeah, this is like a fake name until we reveal who it is. So
could it be? I
believe
do you think there's a possibility? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I believe it's Ducard, yes, but they're not revealing that yet, because Ducard, of course, will kind of get people on the train of thought to the eventual reveal.
Okay. So do you think that this guy is going to be the guy who is the eventual reveal, let's just say?
Let's just say, no, I think it's two separate characters. I think, I think it's just going to be, it's when they say that, it's all going to fall into place nicely. The point is
this guy is Chow Yun Fat.
Chow Yun Fat.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, Ken Watanabe.
Yes, Ken Watanabe.
This guy is Ken Watanabe.
In essence, yes. In essence,
okay.
I don't want to go like bore you down with the minutia of like, no, it's not. The point is, yes, he's the
right.
Again, there's he's kind of our mentor figure to Bruce Wayne, who is from the comics, one of his very iconic teachers, and right now he's just called the Shaman.
Shaman, very ominous. All right, so Bruce is kind of realizing that that Doppel Bruce is kind of taken his place, and that's why no one in Gotham is kind of caring about his absence just yet.
Yes, and you're right. So he learns that Doppel Bruce has taken his place. There's this excellent line that the Shaman has. It's in the conversation where he says, Bruce is asking, "Is this the work of the Court of Owls? Are they the ones who had me brought here?" He says, "The court is a tool, nothing more."
Excuse me.
which is a really cool line, just like suggesting, oh my god, if the Court of Owls, like one of the biggest things in Gotham, is like a tool to who the Shaman's working for, it's a big deal.
Yeah, you're right, and I do like it because it kind of builds up a whole new layer of mythicism with the show.
Oh, and
of course, us Batman fans, like I said, Dragon, we're not going to dive into the actual name just yet, but yeah, I think us Batman fans know what's coming.
Yeah, and I thought it was an ingenious move how they have what they're kind of building here, and we'll get to that. The point is, so back to the scene. So again, they're setting up kind of the Court of Owls as part of a grander design, which I'm really loving. Season 3 has been turning out so good so far. But again, more of that later. I'm jumping in.
Easily the best season of the show so far, if it keeps up this pace, I think.
Yes, Bruce is, he says Alfred's going to figure it out that it's not him, but it's Doppel Bruce. And then again, the Shaman is so well written, so well performed in this episode. He says, by that time, hopefully our goal will be accomplished. Which is saying, even if he figures it out, it's going to be too late if we're successful and everything. You can't stop this kid. The wheels are in motion.
And this episode is basically like kind of the thesis statement of the episode is you can't stop the court. Like the court is already 3 chess moves ahead of you in everything.
Oh, yeah. I tell you one thing, I hope the way they're going with the shaman, that so far it seems to be they're going with him, is that he's going to be kind of like Stick to Bruce Wayne.
I can see that. I can see that.
Not to the extent of like he's going to be completely, he's going to be such a huge pivotal plot point, but I think he's going to have like a relationship with Bruce like Stick. Is kind of what
For sure.
And of course, he indulges in pleasantries and cryptic statements. So he often says he tells Bruce to eat, and he's going to need his strength. Really ominous, like, oh, what's Bruce going to need his strength? He's going to be training for something. He's just been brought here all ominously. Oh boy, oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Meanwhile, GCPD,
Right.
you got some craziness going on because Mayor Aubrey James, Bing Bong himself.
Right. You stole the words from right out of my mouth, Dragon.
The wonderful Richard Kind is back, and I love that they're finding a way to bring him back. I gotta tell you, though, I love that Bullock questions it too. You have to question, like, we see basically Aubrey James is on the road to become mayor again somehow.
At this point, I just think the James becoming mayor thing is a loving running joke of the show, and I embrace it.
Yeah, it's like one of the most corrupt guys just in.
Right.
Yeah,
the original crook himself. Okay, so let's see. So Gordon's looking into the man who killed his father in the supposed quote-unquote drunk driving accident.
And this is great. Another thing I really love in the episode, because what they're doing here is they're pulling something from the book and they're rewriting it to make Gordon more in focus here. It's in the comic, Alan Wayne, Bruce Wayne's great-grandfather, was reportedly he died of an accidental cause, and it was in reality murdered by a Talon.
Right.
So it's really cool how we're doing that with Gordon, because that was the one thing gripe I kind of had against the Court of Owls. Well,
correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't that Alfred after story go down in a similar way?
Yeah, similar way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so so like I said, this episode just really keeps building up the mystique of the court, and then Bullock's kind of like questioning what Gordon's looking into. Says the guy was diagnosed with basically a liver inflammation, chronic liver inflammation.
Yes, to be more the chronic persistent hepatitis, which, as he learns from Bullock, is a form of liver inflammation, otherwise known as the Irish curse.
The Irish curse. Could you imagine Bullock with this disease? Like, he would be so pissed. I can't drink a drop of liquor, Jim! It's killing me! I can't even have a Mike's Hard Lemonade!
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I just love the way this scene goes, because it's kind of Bullock asking like how Gordon's visit with his estranged uncle went, which is in itself kind of funny. Kind of Nigma's disappear. We're kind of laying some seeds, and we have some good exposition going on. But again, really good pathos of Gordon just looking into the the death of his father and kind of finding out that he got 6 years in Blackgate and he was stabbed. It's the hearing this and just putting it together as it was going on. It's like, oh guys, he was stabbed and killed in prison a few months in. Which, oh god, that's the Court of Owls. They made it look like it looked like an accident. Awesome.
Sure.
And but yeah, I just love the logic of this. Again, the Irish curse, which means you can't drink, which means he was not drunk when he was drunk.
And I love how persistent Bullock is. He's just like, Jim, you're not understanding me. This guy can't drink anything, not even beer. If he had one drop of liquor, he'd be dead before he got behind the wheel.
Exactly, which means it's a cover-up. And again, it's wonderful pull from the book structurally. What I was getting at with Gordon is that in the Court of Owls book, the only flaw I have with it's not with Scott Snyder, it's just with all the tie-in stuff. Gordon got shafted in the tie-in stuff. He wasn't targeted or anything. It was just like the Court of Owls basically, hey, make the bat signal into a Court of Owls signal, essentially. That's an oversimplification, but essentially that's what they did with him. Like, Gordon wasn't even targeted. Like, hey, we're going to kill you. Like, no, hey, if you don't contact Batman, we're going to kill your daughter. Essentially, that was it. So I love that here. At least we're kind of rewriting that wrong in some way. I really like that. It's like making Gordon had ties to the Court of Owls story, which is really neat.
Yeah. Bringing it all full circle from the comic. Good job.
Yeah, so he asked Bullock to do some digging, and I just love it. In this moment, Bullock kind of realizes, hey, wait a minute, I'm the acting captain. What are you doing? So meanwhile, let's see. Ivy.
Okay. This episode is easily the best Ivy episode so far.
Yes.
And I look forward to her presence on the show going forward, man.
She is a whole lot better and more entertaining.
This is such a fun character. She is really entertaining, as you said.
And even better than she was in that brief glimpse we got of her last episode. I mean, the last episode was just kind of generic, kind of like, you stupid, kind of like.
Right.
I love how. See, now I think they hit the sweet spot, because before the problem with Ivy was that even though we got a different actress, is that we weren't sure like how much of it was clever that, hey, okay, she still has a child's mentality, but she's, basically it seemed like the same problems are translating into a different actress. But now I think they found just the right sweet spot where it's like her character is connecting to this childlike mentality, so it's making a lot more sense. We'll get into that in a moment. So basically, she's
just the essence of Poison Ivy herself is kind of radiating in that childlike mentality that they built up.
Yeah.
So it's a very effective kind of like merging of the two, like the comic book Ivy and the Gotham Ivy.
Yeah, like Ivy's wheeling Penguin around in a wheelchair.
Okay, what classic novel are we going to relate this to this time, Dragon?
Misery.
Misery, yes, you read my mind. Yes, thank you. Okay, so just to reiterate, folks, let's see. We've had A Clockwork Orange. Yep. We've had One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. We've had Cinderella. Let's see. I know I'm missing some.
Yeah, we had one. I think we had one recently. Where
I know we had. We had Psycho recently.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but the Bates Motel thing. Yeah, Psycho. Yeah. And now, it didn't necessarily go the Misery up, but it looked like it was going to, really, for a moment. It looked like really it was going to be, she found them by the side of a road, and she's taking care of them, and she's making them write the novel.
Oswald Cobblepot's Wild World of Literacy.
Anyway, so Ivy's wheeling Penguin around, and she shows him the greenhouse on this abandoned property, and Ivy's being real nice, being real pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's like all stuff winning me over on Ivy. And here's the idea that really won me over with her, is the idea that, okay, she, since she's kind of not necessarily on the outs with Selena, it's just like she's an outsider, and the idea she wants to be friends with someone who is different like her, which would be Oswald Cobblepot. It makes sense. Initially, we had no idea why she's saving Penguin, aside from like getting a reward for saving the mayor. That's the only reason we thought.
That was our total speculation. Yeah, and I like how they subverted that expectation there.
And it makes sense that it really does make sense. Like, Oswald Cobblepot, especially where we're in dialogue later on, is like, Oswald Cobblepot he's an outsider. He's like really doesn't have any friends himself. And then Oswald's story is that he lost his friend Enigma, and Ivy, she didn't necessarily lose her friendship with Selena, but she still, again, she never will relate to Selena on the same level.
Sure.
They're really just kind of, again, they're villains that haven't realized exactly they're kind of your comic book rogues quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. So as Ivy's being all nice and pleasant to the Penguin,
she makes him kind of an herbal remedy.
Yep, she mentions that plants are her friends, which of course that's classic Poison Ivy there. And I really like that. And now it sounds a lot more natural, instead of kind of being kind of the creepy plant girl. Now it's just kind of the. Sure.
Also, I just love how Oswald's protesting this. He's just like, I am a grown man, for crying out loud. I don't need your help.
Oh yeah, it's like when an older sister plays dress up her dolls with her younger brother. That's kind of what it's like. He's like, I am a man.
I am a grown ass man.
Yeah, Penguin's very sardonically saying, "Oh, wonderful." It's like it's so fun, just kind of gauge. Again, this is a neat way of introducing Ivy, opposed to kind of on the mend from kind of the Ivy weren't too crazy. But now it's just like someone addressing the craziness of Ivy and like kind of making her better in the process of doing so. Mm-hmm. So Penguin doesn't want to be friends. He's rude. He's impatient to get back to Gotham. And then we have a hilarious line by Ivy.
What, the jerk thing?
Well, building that. It's like, what's the rush?
Right.
Yes, I love her addressing that. Well, yeah, why do you have to get back to Gotham so fast? It kind of reminds me of, just speaking of Bates Motel, a little bit, it kind of reminds me of the whole, I'm writing a book about what? Just yelling very casual logical statements to one another. Just like, well, what's the rush?
Right.
Well, the rush is Penguin needs to build an army so he can exact his revenge on Enigma.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, she would help if Penguin wasn't being such a jerk.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dragon. The moment's kind of already passed. But when when Penguin throws the remedy, throws the herbal remedy away, he throws it to the ground. We have Howard Hamlin in the background, and he's just shedding a
tear.
Yeah, shedding a single tear, like Iron Eye, like Eagle Eye Cody from those commercials. Like the Native American the Native American who sees the single piece of trash on the ground.
However, this is a graduated Howard Hamlin because that's actually broth in that cup. So he's actually it's like
right,
it's
right. I'm sorry.
Hamlin.
I know that's a stretch to get the Hamlin reference in there, but I just couldn't resist the Eagle Eye Cody reference.
You see what happens, folks, is Hamlin likes his soup like he likes his tea. He likes a very kind of tea-like soup. And he's just like, he was so happy. Like, basically, it's like he was supposed to be delivered to that restaurant where it's he, Nick Ford, James Franco, it's the whole thing. Let's not dwell too much on the Hamlin stuff. So, moving on.
We need to make an animated Flash series about these characters one day, seriously.
And Nick Ford's the fourth.
Oh, God. Anyways.
Let's see. Where were we going with that? So we got a little distracted by Hamlin.
I knew we would, but I couldn't resist. Like you said, Oswald's desperate to get back to Gotham, and Oswald specifically wants Ivy to track down Gabe.
Yeah, you remember Gabe, don't you?
Of course I remember Gabe.
Yeah, our other Gilzine.
He's like the Diet Coke Gilzine.
Yes, Diet Gilzine. Even though somehow fatter. But yes. Diet Gilzine, and he was. I just love Penguins because we rarely talk about Gabe. Gabe just usually shows up. That's kind of been a running gag with Gabe. Just kind of like that Gilzine-like figure that Penguin has on the side.
Sure.
Remember, Gabe's was on Penguin's payroll, never on like Maroni's payroll. It was always under Penguin's payroll. Mm-hmm. And I love the instant him acknowledging Gabe in this episode. Some people might say it's like a little last minute. They give Gabe some character development. I don't know. It's just he's always been there. It's like an in joke maybe. It's him saying her say, well, who's Gabe? Gabe's a moron, but a loyal moron.
You know what? I think we've seen enough of Gabe to really. I think we've established that about his character. I don't think there's anything off about that.
Yeah, I think the most memorable thing about Gabe is he had the bonsai line, or the whole "What's a bonsai tree?"
Right. So Ivy agrees to help Oswald, but only Dragon on one condition. And what's that condition?
That he pull a Victor's ass. That he say please.
Oh God.
The minute like she emphasized the please, I'm thinking, this would be no problem for Victor's ass.
I totally forgot about Zaz, to be honest with you.
Really?
I'm sorry.
All the lines.
I know. Look, we've got a ton of in jokes, all right? We got Better Call Saul in jokes. Our encyclopedia of in jokes is rapidly expanding, Dragon, all right?
You're on the ceiling. We're on the ceiling.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Anyway, I was saying, of all the gags, like your favorite gag from Gotham was probably "Please." I think could have sworn it's. Anyway, essentially, there was a really great line that Ivy has before we move on. Penguin has two Ivies, saying every army starts with one single loyal soldier. Mm-hmm. Which, of course, we see by the end of this definitely is going to ring true. And again, just the idea he's replacing Nigma. In the effort to replace Nigma, he's going to incite war in Gotham, which is kind of a neat idea.
Sure.
Okay, meanwhile, we got Jim at his father's grave. A good shot.
Yeah.
I get a lot of excellent direction in this episode. Really some great composed shots.
You know what? I really do think this is definitely a highlight of season 3. So, yeah, I got to give it up to, to Ben McKenzie. I got to give it up to him. It's really well directed, for sure.
Oh, yeah, I was super impressed with him. And yeah, it's his first time directing periods. I mean, again, really... Anyway, a lot of firsts this year. Freddie Highmore and Max Terriotti. A lot of firsts directing. Okay, let's see. So Jim's at his father's grave, and of course, kind of contemplating things, and also kind of he's kind of going for a meeting with Frank. Great visual of Frank and Jim kind of with Peter in between them, kind of a big figure that's kind of shaped both of their lives. So it's kind of neat that it's just kind of clever framing. It's kind of a clever meeting place. He's confronting Frank with the driver information that we already went over. The whole the drunk driver was not drunk. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a Lethal Weapon reveal, by the way. Kind of a very. If anyone's watched the Lethal Weapon series or recalls the movie, very
Right.
very Lethal Weapon.
Shane Blackian reveal.
Yes. So he tells Frank tells Jim about the weapon. The weapon is on its way. He has no idea what it is, but it is on its way, and that's kind of the next stage of their mission. The big thing to stop the Core Vows, what they need to do. Jim's questioning if. Jim's basically Frank's kind of speaking of some gloom and doom, pretty much what the court's capable of, and Jim's question: can they actually cleanse? One of the really cool court line. Yet another really cool court line is when Jim's questioning: can they really cleanse Gotham? And the Frank reveals so chillingly, says, "Well, they've done it twice before."
Also, Dragon, I'm sorry, this is silly, but in my notes when they're talking about the Doomsday weapon, I have call Hogarth. We need the Iron Giant.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Anyway, so sorry, just a little random, even for our taste.
The Iron Giant stopped a nuke.
Well, it's not even a nuke. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the point is they've.
Sorry. Go ahead.
The point is, big takeaway. The court has kind of cleansed Gotham twice before. That's just the chilling idea that Gotham's been wiped out twice and it's rebuilt twice.
Like the freaking dinosaurs, man.
It's insinuated that they've been around for way longer than Jim could even have thought. Again, been around for centuries and have done this twice. That's just, again, it's really cool, building the mythos of the Court of Owls. So Jim wants to help Frank investigate because, again, as you brought up Tiki last episode, again, Frank, we're not quite sure what the loyalties lie. We don't know.
Yeah, and I still feel like that kind of rang true almost to the end of his arc in this episode.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so again, as Jim, he's offering to help Frank investigate the court, but of course, Frank's big concern is he doesn't want anyone's cover blown that they're investigating the court. Because again, they'll be all for nothing at this point. We'll find out why things are super important to Frank later in the episode. But Jim tells Frank to be careful. Meanwhile, while he's at the cemetery, Jim bumps into Lee.
We have to talk about this scene. Can we just skip it, please?
We gotta go through it real quick.
Can we just skip it? It adds nothing. Lee is still bitter with Jim. There. That's it. That's all we need to know.
I will say this. First of all, again, it looks great. Let's give it that. It looks great.
Fine.
But seriously,
I am literally reluctant to even give this scene the justice of even talking about it. All right?
Let me say, I'm going to actually, believe it or not, I'm going to defend this scene a little bit.
Okay, fine. Then we have to get into it then. Let's just go in. Let's dive in.
All I'm going to say is that so Jim bumps into Lee at Mario's grave. Again, really well shot. It's I love that now she, at least in the performance, at least in kind of the writing here, it's more rational about how she's more rational about it now that she has been. At least it's more like it's not done in a rational manner. It's not done like, well, you get a sense of this her kind of process. I believe if we just have one of these moments, this would have been tolerable. You know what I mean? If we had like this moment here instead of all the other BS, I think would have played.
Oh yeah, certainly. I do think all the other BS kind of just. Like, to me, it's just like I have in my notes, like literally when she's talking about like look, I do think the line about like the little old man in his 90s in front of the grave, and she realized that they had a whole life together when he was smiling.
I mean, here you genuinely feel bad for Lee when she's
you do, but at the same time, you know what really got me, Dragon, and I wonder how you feel about it, is I don't like how Jim, he doesn't really know what to do. He's just kind of like trying to say what he can. Yeah, right. And then Lee's just like, in this, look, I was on Lee's side until this moment, Dragon, but this snapped me like right back to the anti-Lee side. Like, Lee's just like, how'd you just move on and leave so much destruction in your wake? All right.
Believe it or not,
I think that's taking it a step too far, in my opinion.
Look, I'll agree with you to a small extent. All I'm going to say is, again, compared to any of the other Lee stuff, this one feels like the most natural and dialogue, has like some cool stuff to it. It's compared to the other ones. The other ones are more like, she literally put Jim's life in danger last time she had one of these scenes.
I guess I can't argue with that.
and here, I mean, here just I like that line out of context a lot. Just her kind of questioning. I think it's a smart question that kind of raised the Jim in this season. Maybe not in this direct moment, but it's in this season, just kind of questioning how can you move on after all the destruction's kind of left in your way. I don't know. I like that. I like the way that line's written. I really do. Again, I think it's the fact that Jim doesn't have an answer to that. I kind of like the way that moment plays. The thing that I will say, as much as I am kind of defending scene as much as I can. Again, comparatively, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not really helping. It's not helping. It's not healing. I'm just saying it doesn't take anything away from the episode, so that's why it doesn't bug me as much. The other
I agree. It doesn't take anything away from the episode. We can agree on that.
At least it's like something nice to look at and gives you kind of like an eerie note. And the only thing, it's not anything in this episode like kind of cut off from everything else, but there is a line at the end that does fill me with worry for Lee going forward.
Oh God. Okay, what is it?
She wishes that she could do that, and that implies a thing they've been hinting at this season, is that maybe she'll be kind of be taken under Falcon's wing.
Right.
Basically, she might become a crime boss, which I'm hoping they do not go.
Oh God, no.
All I'm saying is that line fills me with worry. If they're there was a trailer put out for like the season for this last.
We have Barbara as a crime boss, all right. And in season 1, we would have thought that idea was just flat out insane. So who knows, Dragon? Maybe by season 5 it'll work. I just don't think they can pull it off like this season. If we have like a gradual progression to it, I'd be a little bit more okay with it.
What I'm saying is I hope that doesn't happen, but all I'm saying is there's this one really worrisome shot we got in a trailer way back when of Lee walking at GCP and all the guns were drawn on her, which does not feel.
Oh God! Oh shoot! I remember that. Yeah. Okay.
So that as you can, I'm saying that coupled with this line does not bode well for her. Am I right?
Sure, I can sign off on that, I guess.
But again, that's just speculative worry. In the episode as it stands, not taken away from it. So again, it gets a pass from me. So as Jim's as she's walking away and as Jim's is kind of lingering in front of the grave, he gets a call. He gets a call from Bullock. He learns that the driver was a career scumbag, and not only was he a career scumbag, he had an attorney that kind of got him his plea. That got him 6 years in Blackgate, and he had an attorney. His attorney was paid for by none other by Carmine Falcone, the wonderful John Donovan.
And then a really good directorial choice here. We zoom in on the Falcone name on Mario's grave.
Yeah, which again,
like that little touch.
Very well shot.
Yeah. Okay, so then, oh God, so we have Gabe giving Penguin a big old bear hug. Oh, boss, I missed you so much, boss. Oh God.
Dave has a hilarious line aside from that. I'm just being so overbearingly happy to see Penguin. He says, "Hey boss," it's like filling him in on the events of he's missed out. Hey boss, did you know Barbara's running things?
Oh God.
It's hysterical, just the way he brings. I just love that. It's a ridiculous exposition to get across.
Right.
So then, again, Penguin's just kind of getting back on point here. He's kind of being direct into the point with Gabe. Says, "Gabe, I need an army to take back my throne."
Oh, sure, boss. Sure, I'll call a couple guys. Everyone's one to work for you, boss. It'll be no problem. Now,
they'll come running.
They'll come running, boss. Now, what do you want me to do?
That, Gabe, do that.
That's really well timed. Do that.
Do exactly that.
Okay,
so Ivy points out that something's off with Gabe, and again, for us, the audience, Gabe's a little overly happy, as in he's trying to cover something up.
Right, and we get a classic Ivy, poison Ivy, gadget, I guess. We've
set up the perfume in other episodes, Tiki. She's had this perfume and she's used this.
You're right, we have. I don't know, Dragon. It's weird that you mentioned that because now I honestly feel like this episode pulls that off way better than any other episode. Like I feel like this episode, I guess maybe it's just because the Ivy thing. Like I've really come around on her, and I really think they're in her prime with her. I don't know. Maybe I'm just more accepting of the traditional comic book stuff now.
Yeah. Well, again, I told you, like before it was like we were still getting used to, and I think they're still figuring out like how they're going to kind of work the transition. Now they got it. Now they're right on the money.
Sure. Okay.
And That's again, Ivy points this out, she offers to use her perfume on, which essentially, again, it's kind of a neat take on the Poison Ivy lipstick that we saw in Batman the Animated Series. In general, like in the comics, she always uses like kind of the pheromones or like kind of lipsticks or stuff, which again, Batman Robin movie, again, it's pheromones. So regardless, using plant, again, this is like fitting into the Ivy eye, like where it's a human lady obsessed with plants. He's using kind of actual plant chemicals in a kind of a sci-fi capacity to kind of affect people.
Sure.
Again, for me, it's always going to boil down, based on my love of the animated series, always going to boil down to kind of plant lady who values plant life over human life. That's so interesting to me versus
right.
the lady who has become a plant. I mean, as an end point, it's not bad. Just again, I'll take the other one. The one we're working with now. Anyway, so Ivy points out she can use perfume on him, but Penguin trusts Gabe over Ivy, and he makes that clear. We have a really sad bit where he unnecessarily harshly. In an unnecessary manner, he harshly calls Ivy a bit of a freak.
And it's like, this is coming from frickin' Robin Lord Taylor as the Penguin.
Yeah, he killed a man for a sandwich.
Like, that was literally the cliffhanger of the whole show. That was literally like the selling point to come back and watch next week on night 1, Dragon.
Yeah, literally, end of episode 1, kills a man for a sandwich.
Come back next week, folks. That's Gotham for you. Anyways.
Yep. So the point is, you feel bad for that. And then, thankfully, there's a little bit of comeuppance for Penguin in the scene where Gabe's questioning, "What did she tell you? Not to trust me?" And then we have the big reveal that Penguin's asking why. He turns around, he's knocked out by the gun. Smart girl.
Oh yeah.
Bum bum bum. Betrayal.
Okay.
Betrayed. It's Superman 4 reference. Betrayed. Anyway, so Bruce in his cell. He's not in his cell. He's in his kind of fancy Himalayan room.
I was having trouble with that too. I mean, it's like a fancy room, but it's also a cell because it has bars and it's locked. So
yeah, really nice accommodation.
It's a very fancy cell. I think if Norman Bates had this cell on Bates Motel when he was awaiting trial, things would be much calmer.
But then Alex Ramirez had to go all the way to the Himalayas to break him out.
That's what I'm saying. It would. I don't think Alex Romero would make it to the Himalayas, so things will play out naturally. Dragon. Anyways.
Okay. So Bruce's door to his room opens, and we get this great hallway shot. And again, just considering what this is, they shot it perfectly. I think, and Ben McKenzie, shot it perfectly. How you want to convey this space is an infinite space, and it has it's an infinite space. But what's so great about it, it's confined like Crime Alley, which we're going to see later in the episode. It's confined like that alley space, and I just love how it's confined, but at the same time, it's so infinite.
Oh yeah.
So Bruce tries to escape, and then we get again another moment of it's the labyrinth. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm sure you had that moment too. I mean, of course, you believe me. As much as I love the labyrinth from the book, I mean, you really go nuts for the labyrinth.
I go nuts for the labyrinth, Dragon, and believe me, I'm waiting to see some of the darker and trippier sides of the labyrinth. I think this episode we kind of we dipped our toe into the labyrinth, and I hope that we get a lot more of the labyrinth going.
He still does have to break out of the labyrinth. So I mean, with that said, there's still going to be an escape. We know how dark things get in that labyrinth, so we'll see if they. If they can capture a tenth of that, they'll be in good shape. But still, I wouldn't expect to go. So I don't expect Bruce as this young boy to get stabbed and thrown through a few walls. I don't expect that. I mean, kudos if they go that route. I don't think.
I think we saw probably the most brutal kill of the whole series this episode. So you never know.
You never know. But even though they're not calling it a labyrinth, they're calling it a maze. Same difference. Again, it's really awesome that we get it. So Bruce, he disappears down. He goes down the hallway. He kind of I just love that he disappears in the hallway as he walks into darkness, and then we come out the other side. And again, it's the same room. It's it's infinite. It's this endless maze. And then of course he goes down the corridors, and eventually. Goes down the corridors, and eventually he runs into the shaman, and the shaman he's kind of telling him, "Oh yes, it's But basically, he gets into a really cool line. Before that, Bruce I love how he just kind of answers the challenge here, where he says, I will find a way out of here. I just love him promising that I will find a way out of here. He's going to be clever enough to figure a way out, and I can't wait for that moment. Again, it's a wonderful tease for the end of the labyrinth stuff. I can't wait to see. But speaking of what the maze/labyrinth is in general, I love, again, really good dialogue in the shaman this episode. Really cool mystical training dialogue. He says, how long have you been running down you kind of raising the question.
I have
what do
it.
you
I
have?
have it.
Go on.
Okay. How long have you been blindly running around the corridors your whole life, only to end up in the same place? It's time to take direction, Bruce.
Yeah, he's been running down the maze of his life, only to end up in the same place. Which again, I love that they've added extra meaning. Again, we're taking the stuff from Core of This is the way you adapt something, folks. This is a really cool way to adapt something. Where you take the iconography and like kind of the really cool, memorable stuff from a book, but you add kind of new meaning that fits a new story.
Right. Yeah, this fits Gotham like a glove. You know, this whole storytelling and where we are with Bruce's character 3 seasons in.
I've been saying this from day one. All the stuff when you kind of personify Gotham as a character, which is what the Court does best, that's when you're hitting the sweet spot with the show, and that's where we're at right now.
Totally.
So again, like we're symbolically comparing this a physicalized location, like again Gotham tends to do, with Bruce. Like you are this maze is a representation of where your character's at right now. You just keep ending up at the same place. It's time to pick a direction. Which of course the arc of Bruce Wayne, this whole series is he needs to he has not formulated the whole. I've made a vow to my parents to make sure no one has to endure this loss again. He hasn't vowed the mission yet. He's just trying to figure out what's happening to his parents. But he doesn't like Bruce is without purpose.
Right.
He is beyond getting justice for the Wayne family and pursuing. He's right now. All he's intent on is pursuing the Court of Owls. He's unsure of why and what to do next. Like he knows he's technically gotten justice for the man who pulled the trigger for his family. He hasn't really thought out this mission of like, okay, I stopped the Court of Owls. No idea how I'm going to do that, or why it would matter in the grand scheme. But I stopped the Court of Owls, and what's next? He has no idea what to do next, and that's what the shaman's pointing out to him here. Bruce claims he's not scared of him. He's not scared of anything, and then he says, "You are scared of something. Let me show you what I can offer."
Oh yeah.
Might
I say, Dragon, I also kind of like, in addition to the obvious like Court of Owls, labyrinth stuff, I also get a pseudo sort of like Doctor Strange vibe from these scenes as well.
I can see that. Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of a Sanctorum vibe I'm getting to. It's kind of like him. It's like kind of like Doctor Strange learning the sling ring and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I kind of see that. I get a vibe of that. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, I think what they're doing, just real quick, is we got to remember we're kind of breaching into some dangerous territory because we've done sci-fi on Gotham in season 2, with all the monster experiments. Which again, that's kind of we're kind of stepping out of the season 1's very practical, very kind of it's mob crime. It's very just violence at its core. Season 2 kind of gets us in the mad science, and this season's kind of getting us into some mysticism a little bit. So we're kind of we're like Doctor Strange, we're playing it very kind of like here are the basic rules of how you get to mysticism. So it's not like this, hey, magic, bobbity bobbity boo. It's like we have to build.
Sure.
Bibbity bobbity boo, but we gotta build to it. We have like very simple rules. Like, okay, we'll follow this, and you're gonna get to the next step. Which, hey, by the end of it, hey, that's magic. Mm-hmm. And of course, you always want to walk that line with Batman because too much magic and Batman is a bad combination. Take the word for it. So Jim visits again. I love that we find ways to kind of fit John Donovan in there because he's a great actor. He's wonderfully has played Falcone. We've always had this great relationship between Jim and Falcone. So which
I honestly think is like a crux of the series. Like of course Bullock and Jim are kind of like the bread and butter of the show in their dynamic, but I really do think Falcone and Jim are kind of like the thematic, like the main thematic dynamic that we have going on, even though we don't see it in every episode. It works its way through the themes of every season.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, I could be reading into it here, but if you look at it in a certain way, it's that since Falcone lost his son, since Jim killed his son, I get a sense that Falcone's really he's more. I think a part of him is a little bit more bereft by the fact that kind of Jim Gordon of all people did this to him, and he had kind of always had a soft spot for Jim Gordon.
Of course, yeah. And the fact that he had a soft spot makes it like all the more difficult to bear for him. Yeah,
that's why it's like he always kind of had like a trust and a kind of an understanding. Which he could always kind of explain stuff to Gordon, and Gordon had faith in each other to an extent. Just the fact that he felt like super betrayed. He's kind of dealing with that betrayal that his pseudo son, the figure that he looked to as a son, as he's mentioned here and that, he looked to Gordon as a son, honestly more of a son than Mario, which I believe he mentions too. Mm-hmm. Yet again, it makes it all the more painful. His son figure betrayed him.
Sure, sure.
Again, it's like kind of interesting, kind of the father figure, son figure, kind of on opposite sides of the law, just kind of having this dynamic with each other. It's kind of interesting.
Mhm.
So Jim shows up at Falcone's place. Falcone's not happy because again things been on the rocks with him lately. And he says, how dare you be here after you took my son from me?" Then Gordon has the ultimate retort to that, and I love this. Jim saying, "You took my father from me. I'd say that makes us even." Which again, I love that as an idea that maybe we can move forward with Falcone and Jim because that does.
Yeah, right. Sure. And you know what? I do think that Falcone is a reasonable guy who kind of operates within that sort of like, like mob mentality sort of, like an eye for an eye sort of, I think he would go for this logistically.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So let's see. So obviously this, Jim wants to board alone with him after he says that's a way to clear a room.
Mm-hmm.
"You killed my father!" And of course that's going to clear a room. Falcone tells Jim that he did not order the hit on Jim's father because, as we've established, and I've always loved since we've established that, and I love in season 3 we've paid this off all over the place, and I've loved it. One of my favorite elements of the season. We're paying off all the stuff with Gordon's father. Falcone mentions, of course, he had nothing but respect for Jim's father, so he would never,
and he kind of has that cutting line, like, "I have more respect for your father than his ungrateful son that he left behind ever did."
Yeah.
Just insulting Jim right to his face.
Yeah. Then, Jim says it was the court, and Falcone's asking, "What do you know about the court?" And of course, we've established that Falcone is working with the Court of Owls. He's talked to Catherine in the limo, which of course we pay off that image in this episode.
Oh yeah.
Falcone tells Jim that he's not a member of the court, and I like how they kind of make this divide clear. I like this just shows you how kind of clever and how powerful Falcone is. That he knows where to draw a line. That he is not a member of the court, but he's built a partnership with them.
A mutually beneficial relationship with the court, shall we say?
Exactly. I love how Jim just kind of returns with kind of a cutting line. "You do their bidding," and then of course Falcone, as he should, he kind of tops Jim by saying, this is such a good line. "Everyone does the court's bidding. Just some of us just know it."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, say that everyone does the court's bidding. Yeah, it's a good line.
Great scene. It's like a verbal chess match.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? I love how Falcone is just he's like right. He's not in the court of because that would bring a lot of danger. Maybe he's not worthy. Maybe he is worthy. The point is he has more options if he's right outside the court of owls and he buckles to them, and he's kind of like.
But of course, he also recognizes the court's a threat, and so he needs to play ball with them.
Absolutely. He's smart enough to realize I have no way of going up against these guys, so it's best to he's playing peacemaker between the streets and between the court. So he facilitates crime, and the court, of course, realizes that Falcone believes in an order to crime, as he's established to Jim Gordon, as he said to Jim Gordon in season 1. So it all fits in so well with his character. Again, I love how we're adding these great layers to Falcone. We haven't just kind of written this up. Hey, we need the big boss of Gotham. Let's get Falcone in here. No, it's like he actually has some really cool stakes and layers to him. All good stuff. So Jim's asking who gave the order, who put out the hit, and then again. Carmine, he's always got that trump card. He says, Frank Gordon.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's where Tika gets some vindication of, can we trust Frank?
And Dragon, god damn it, I really wish that the Google effects didn't go away, because that would be the perfect time to use the Inception sound effect we used to have.
Yeah.
I miss the days of the Google effects. Anyways. Bum.
So let's see. So Frank ordered the hit. Then we have a great cut. We have a great cut and shot of Frank returning home. Again, I love the emphasis on the hallway shots here. Again, kind of building to the Bruce Wayne of it all.
Sure.
Frank's kind of going down. He's going down the hallways, entering his really fancy apartment, really nice apartment he's got. Frank Gordon did well. Again, the court pays well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he has all the high hobnobbing society members in, so I guess that makes sense. Boys, then we have this great shot, of Gordon like having a gun to Frank's head while he's holding like a fancy bottle of wine. What's his line? It's "Hello, Jim. I thought we could use a drink." The Gordons really love indulging the drink now and again.
Yeah, totally.
Jim's been battling with some alcoholism this season.
No wonder he gets along with Bullock so well.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I could be wrong here. I want to say that Gordon's also Irish.
I think you're right about that, but you know Gordon more than I do, obviously. So if
Well,
anyone's
they
gonna know, it's you.
never really acknowledged kind of Gordon as kind of where he kind of descends from. And this season, I'm just saying with Peter Gordon, and it's kind of the classic thing with cops is some of the best.
You're right. Peter is an Irish name. You're right. You're right.
Not saying I wouldn't be surprised. I'm saying the evidence is kind of pointing to the Irish, and plus the old adage of some of the best kind of most notable figures in policing are of Irish descent. So
Sure.
It all kind of makes sense. I'm not mad at that or anything. I'm saying Bullock's always praising him about him being Irish. So I'm just saying kind of it would make sense. Those all kind of gelling together well. Anyway, so holding the gun to his head, Falcone has called. Yeah, we learned that Falcone called the Court of Owls, which is why Frank knew this was coming. Which is why Frank was already preparing a drink. And he's very concerned because Falcone called the Court of Owls, which instantly raises suspicion on what they're doing. Why is Jim looking into this all of a sudden now? Because again, Falcone plays it smart. He's got to inform the court of everything so he doesn't get killed.
Of course.
Jim's asking why did you have him killed? And Peter's mentioning Peter became a risk. Frank's mentioning that Peter became a risk because he's plotting against the court and they found out about this. And Jim's just raising the big question, which we don't get an answer to until the very end. In a way, it's just him. You shot your own brother. You want to shoot me? You're doing me a favor. And I think this coupled with the resolution just kind of translates that again. Frank's been genuinely haunted by a decision to kill his own brother, and he honestly thinks it's justice that he should die. He honestly if I get killed.
Yeah, and I do think the writing on him for a character who essentially only lasts about 3 total episodes is we get a lot of layers to this guy. He does have a very good arc, and like I said, Dragon, we're always kind of questioning his motives up until this scene. I think this scene is kind of like where we at least start to kind of see a glimmer of regret in him, and it kind of leads into his final scene. So good writing on the Frank character.
It's like believe me, he thinks he deserves death because in the time he allowed a big reason why he allowed his brother to die, like why he killed his brother, was for his own survival. And I think he deeply regrets it now, seeing the court was so in the wrong. And it's years later now that he has a chance, and that's the only reason he really needs to live, so he can see he can avenge his brother and kind of do right by him by kind of taking down the court with his son. And of course, we know. Well, we'll get to that in a second. I was about to mention that. We'll talk about that later with the big choice. So the point is, you want to shoot me or finish what Peter starts. That's kind of the choice that he lays out to Gordon in this moment. My father, and Jim's kind of mentioning, and Jim also knew his father very well. He says, Jim mentions that my father would have wanted justice to be done, and so do I. It's a cool kind of perennial line for Gordon. He's kind of the man who is his father. It's nice. He tries arresting Frank. Frank's pointing out, "Did you not listen to a word I said?"
I love how frustrated Frank gets here. He's just like, "Come on!
Did you not listen to a word I said? It's a bad idea. We'll give the whole plan away." Then he kind of we get to see how well trained the court is. By the way, just kind of. I wonder if we're ever going to see that kind of a fight scene with Catherine, because in the comic we never saw.
I'd love that. That'd be amazing.
It would be, because the way it's been in the comic, this would become a neat alteration. Just giving Frank here, that Frank's a lot more fit. We've never seen a court member like the ones that wear the owl mask this physically active.
Sure.
So it's kind of a new addition to this series that maybe they're all also skilled in combat, which makes if Jim's offered the position, he's also skilled in combat. It would make sense that Catherine would also be skilled, but we never know. Anyway, so like Frank just backward headbutts Jim and like hits him with the bottle without even breaking it, and then those are the hits that hurt, folks. If we learned anything from Luke Cage, those are the hits that really can do it. A guy hits him with a bottle that doesn't break, and then he points Jim's own gun at him. If you don't feel emasculated, that's going to emasculate you. I tell you. Point your own gun at the guy. He's telling Jim, okay, look. Dock 9C. Go to Dock 9C. The weapon arrives there. Find out. I'll buy some time with the court. You find out why the weapon, when the weapon arrives, without the court learning of your involvement, or we're both dead.
It's great. It's like he's just like, I'm not taking any shit from you, kiddo. It really is just like a stern uncle scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to do. Here's the plan, and you're going to execute it.
Yep. No discussion. So Penguins, meanwhile, we're going to on the Penguin side of things here.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I have a nickname for Penguin in my notes. It's Oz.
God.
It's just to abbreviate, you know.
I traditionally go with the P for the abbreviation for mine, but tomato, tomato. Is there like a magnet in the room or something?
It might be just my chair. I'll try not to roll it around so much. I apologize.
Okay.
You can hear my voice, okay, right?
Well, no, I'm seeing the camera's up again. Like keeps there's like a magnet, so the camera keeps going up.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, let me turn the camera off for a moment, Dragon. But I'll try and get on it. But yeah, just continue. I'm sorry.
So Penguin's asking Gabe. Penguin's asking Gabe why the betrayal. What's going on here? She's never. I never got the. Oh, right. Basically, he's kind of taunting Gabe, saying, "You never what's wrong? You never got the gold star for thuggery."
And I have in my notes, I bet Pearl would give Gabe Pearl points.
Yes, oh God, yes, you would.
Oh, Gabe, I don't necessarily approve of what you do, but you put a lot of effort into it, and that's what counts.
I'm starting to go through Pearl withdrawal. I can't wait for we get more Steven Universe.
I think we get it very soon, man. It's imminent. Like
I hope so. I'm starting to go through it. Maybe it's because I'm watching too much Nurse Jackie lately. But I'm going through some Pearl withdrawal.
Is Nurse Jackie very Pearl-like?
Yes and no. Yes and no. If Pearl had an edge, I never really thought of it this way, but if Pearl had an edge, she would probably be Nurse Jackie, because Nurse Jackie has the most excellent bedside manner.
Okay.
Like basically, Jersey.
Let's just continue. Pearl. I'm sorry. I've almost got the camera fixed, but let's
if Pearl was a New Yorker, she'd be Nurse Jackie.
Oh God.
So anyway, so Pearl. Darn it. Darn you. Anyway, so basically asking Gabe what's up, what's going on. Gabe reveals that the plan is to auction Penguin off, not to kill Penguin, but to auction the honor of killing Penguin off to the highest bidder.
And what literary reference would this be?
Well, I know Batman references. I don't know what the literary references. I know it's.
You know what? Let's just move on.
I'm saying like Hugo Strange was auctioning Batman's identity off in Batman the Animated Series and really good. So it was kind of an auction of some kind of thing, Bondian and Blacklist. I'm not really thinking what the literary reference is.
Mm-hmm. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Camera's fixed.
Okay. Let's see. Ivy's on the outside, kind of watching things before she is apprehended by Gabe's pals.
Nobody listens to Ivy.
Or as I like to phrase it, the Gabe Brigade.
The Gabe Brigade. Yes.
The Gabe Brigade. Yeah.
It's great. Okay, anyway. So let's see. So Gordon is telling Bullock Frank's side of the court story and talks about the new wrinkle about the doomsday weapon, and he's just kind of like overwhelmed.
Bullock has an excellent line.
Yeah.
It's such a great line. He says, secret organization that controls Gotham. Someone should tell them that they're doing a terrible job.
Right.
I just think that line is so great, and for Bullock of all characters to have, because again, just addressing I just love how Bullock takes this. Well, that's a lot to take in, and basically find out, hey, there's an organization that's all about kind of looking after Gotham's best interest, kind of stamping this stuff out. They're doing a terrible job. Is pointing that out.
I also enjoy the line, Jim, I tend to give apocalyptic warnings of mass destruction the benefit of the doubt.
In reference to Jim's asking if he should kind of take Frank at his word, and that's Bullock's advice, which I would agree with Bullock. Yeah, if there's a threat of destroying the whole city, I would listen to it.
Right. So Bullock does agree to get Judge Bam Bam on the case to get a warrant. We love Judge Bam Bam.
Oh yeah.
It's just literally Bam Bam from the Flintstones.
Let's not get crazy with things.
Just grown Bam Bam, like kind of like the Family Guy equivalent to the Elroy Jetson. Just Bam Bam's a judge now.
But you remember though, we've established Judge Bam Bam ever since the first season.
Yeah, I know. They call him Bam Bam because he bangs the gavel. I know.
Yeah.
I still think it's a funny name.
You're right. But so anyway, as Bullock has mentioned, he's about to get on that because, of course, when you have Bullock in your corner, the world's all sunshine and rainbows. Before before he does it, Jim then mentions, no, we can't. Again, he doesn't want to alert the Court of Owls, especially again. It wouldn't be. I wouldn't put it beyond that. Maybe Judge Bam, for all we know, is in the Court of Owls. Again, high-ranking officials.
Right.
So you never know. And that's kind of the cool conspiracy element of the Court of Owls kind of being brought up here. They didn't bring it up here, but I'm just saying I'm extrapolating. That wouldn't surprise me if that's maybe like a concern.
Mhm.
From the book is that Jim's saying, okay, we got to keep this outside the GCPD, and they say, okay, well, we need, then Bullock's kind of extrapolating, okay, well, we need someone who's not affiliated with the GCPD who can get access to the docs, which we have this wonderful one that, again, here's the thing, this moment would have been perfect for us 2 seasons back when we were just out of context. This moment would have been perfect for us to use, just kind of like Jim's looking. I love what Jim looks at Bullock right in the eyes. He's looked at
right.
Essentially, this is kind of our preface to these sort of scenes in the past, where I would go like, no.
But oh my God, Dragon, how they have turned this character around. This might be one of the biggest comeback stories I have ever seen for a character on a TV show.
Yeah, I gotta tell you,
love Barbara.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, no negative things on Barbara whatsoever. She's good. She's
I love
solid.
how she's calling herself Barbara Queen now.
Yeah. It's she's I guess she's fresh now.
So she's basically just mob bossing her way through someone, just kind of like harassing them about
a debtor, like someone who owes her money, and just saying he's coming up short.
Need a new pair of stilettos.
It's so twisted how things have changed. Where Lee's kind of our problem character.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
But Barbara, she was good in this episode. I gotta give it to her. She was good.
Barbara is more fun than a barrel of monkeys, I tell ya.
She's been solid the whole season so far, and she's now I think she's kind of reached the point where we've hit a really good spot with her. She's again, this episode hits all the right notes. I gotta tell you, it's she's. I think going forward, like this, if they keep up this momentum with her, she's we'll be in good shape with her.
Yeah.
I just love that she. I love that she.
I just believe that we're actually like praising Barbara.
Yeah, dude. If we told ourselves in season 1 that we'd be here, our other selves would say, "Are you crazy? Should we call Arkham quick? What's going on here?" But I just love that her. I love that she doesn't go to the lethal option every time. I love that her way she doles out to a debtor is like she hits him with a stiletto shoe. Doesn't kill him like Penguin would have killed the guy or shot him.
Right.
She hits him with the stiletto. Who's next? Okay, so and then she gets a call from her favorite favor asker.
Oh, Jim, what an unpleasant surprise. Let me guess. Do I hear a favor coming on?
God. Yeah, and the Barbara Quinn, I got that. That's a clever line. I like that. Yeah, it's a clever line. Okay.
I just love it because it's just like it fits a lot with her character and how egocentric her character would be in this position.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So let's see. So Jim's asking if. Oh, sorry. I'm backtracking a little. Sorry.
Yeah.
After the.
We're back with Ducard.
Well, yeah, maybe Ducard.
I'm
saying it. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's probably going to be Ducard. I mean, let's say 85-90% chance.
All right, fine. It's the shaman. It's the shaman for the time being. Fine.
Shaman's waited a long time. He mentions that he's waited a long time for Bruce to take this journey.
Mm-hmm.
And the only journey Bruce is interested in is journeying back to Gotham. Then we share the same destination.
So he takes out some very, very cryptic-looking acupuncture needles that he calls keys. And oh boy, Dragon, here we go with the hallucinogenics.
Well, keys it has a really excellent line. Did you write it down? I have it down here if you don't.
I'm sorry, I don't have the whole thing. I just have keys.
He has these hallucinogenic acupuncture needles. You're right. They call keys to the mind for that which it lacks. Keys to the mind for which it locks away. It locks away even from itself. Basically, the key to the mind, essentially. And importantly, this might be a plot point. There were 6 needles with 6 different symbols. So maybe we're gonna have that'll be like his path to unlocking the maze.
Oh, I could see that. Right.
I'm saying his training can be marked by these 6 needles, different scenario each needle's one.
Sure.
So again, it's a maybe, but then the point is the first needle, the important needle, the one that Bruce needs to kind of deal with first is he acupunctures him with the hallucinogenic needle in the head, and it takes Bruce to Crime Alley.
Oh boy.
And this is hauntingly shot. So hauntingly shot because again we've seen Crime Alley.
It's just like I love how Bruce is reacting to it. Like he knows exactly what's going to happen, and he knows there is absolutely nothing he can do to stop it. And like the last thing he wants to do in that moment is relive it. Very intense stuff.
It's so haunting for many reasons. It's haunting for the reason of again we're doing such an awesome classic Batman thing of him kind of we in various Batman of course we relive the origin. The way of reliving it here is like kind of in the video games where we kind of like put him in the same crime alley and we kind of reenact the murder in front of us.
Sure.
The other thing is that again this is very much it. If we don't get it even more accurately from the book, this is the closest. This is fine for me if this is all we give. Like Bruce is confronted by his parents, like a demented, hallucinized version of his parents in the maze, and this kind of close.
I want more because you know me. That's I think for my money that is the most memorable moment of the whole Court of Owls story arc. So I want a more demented version of the parents.
All I'm saying, I don't think we're gonna have it go that dark.
I don't think it'll be that dark either, but I want kind of a middle ground.
All I can see in terms of middle ground would be like his parents being, they bring back the actors that played his parents, and they kind of taunt him or something.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, something like that.
And honestly, I'm satisfied they got this close, and again, they made it thematic to their story. So at least I'm fine if we just get this. But you're right though, if they push it a little bit, it'd be cool. Again, we have more needles, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, so again, it's like I thought it was so trippy that we see the young Bruce from season 1 with kind of our older Bruce.
Right.
And then, of course, the shaman has that great line, "You wanted to return to Gotham. Here we are."
Okay, let's see. So, Bruce kind of starts to panic, and he gets pulled out.
You get the fear on Bruce, and just the shock of re-experiencing the memory in such vivid detail.
Oh God! And Dragon, that creepy eye effect as Bruce like kind of comes to back in the temple. Ooh.
Whenever the needle touches the head, the way and the idea, I think I like this. Again, I love that it's I love the way they're approaching the mysticism here because basically they're doing it very practically. Where it's all in his mind. It's all hallucinized.
Yeah, sure.
So again, it's like they still have like this great plausibility to it all. So Bruce is questioning why would he make him relive that? And then and this to me was the brilliance of like I love that we're not just doing it for the cliche of okay, Bruce Wayne's haunted by his past. We're doing it for a very great story reason. Again, all the dialogue with the shaman stuff, it's really good for Bruce's character. And the line he has here is basically what they're getting at in the scene is that you never left that alley. The reason they want the alley is because you never left the alley. To accept the teachings, basically to accept his teachings, you need to do that. You need to leave the alley. Rest and we'll try again.
It's almost kind of like the Empire Strikes Back cave in a way. It's like this dark thing that he needs to confront.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. So back to Babs then.
Yes. Tab is torturing Harbor Master to find out what's being shipped. I wonder, Taylor with Thursday, I think next episode's going to give us a direct ruling on this, but I wonder, while they do need to figure out what's in the crate for Jim, because he wants to know what's being shipped and, when, well, we don't know if he's actually asking what's being shipped, he just needs to know when and if it came in or not. But the point is, I think they're taking Jim's favor, but they're also trying to get the upper hand by figuring out what it is and like who the guy's working for, everything, because they're asking like information about the Court of Owls, which I don't think Jim's asking for. So I think they're trying to get an upper hand while they're
see that. Yeah.
Which we'll get a direct ruling on that next episode, I'm sure.
Sure. Okay, let's see. So basically, this harbor worker is kind of taunting them, saying that Falcone would never answer any questions about the package. And then I love Barbara's line, just Don Falcone ain't running things, baby.
She stabs the guy to get the information, like this little hook thing.
Right.
And then, oh boy, I love this moment. Oh God, I love this.
Indian Hill crate.
Well, no, then that's cool. We kind of knew that was going. We get the Indian Hill crate. We knew the other thing was going to do is we got to see it in its full glory. So the the Indian Hill crate, which again we'll speculate on, I guess. At the end. The point is that's the big Court of Owls weapon crate, which of course they ties the Indian Hill. All makes sense. Barbara wants an introduction to the Court of Owls again, which suggests that she has an ulterior motive with this hair. She wants to kind of see who's the big head honcho that everyone's kind of worried about. And before she gets an answer, She gets an introduction to who it is by a sword wielding Talon, and I love this. And in the book, the Talons have various different weapons and stuff. So we have a Talon with a different weapon. The other one was a knife thrower. This one has a sword.
Sure. And oh man, Dragon, it's such a satisfying, like,
He walks out of the shadows. And he kills everyone in the
I mean, of course we've seen Talons before in season 2, but I think this is much more, or I'm sorry.
No, there's still this season. We haven't seen.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just, I apologize, Dragon, that dumb time jump.
You're right. Yeah, the dumb break.
So we have seen Talons before, but I think this is definitely like the most well-shot Talon reveal we've gotten yet, and it's really cool.
Oh, yes. And he's going around there, and again, it's with her stick would be proud with this scene, I think. He's going around, and he's slicing dice. I love the idea that, the Babs and Tabs, they are so lucky to have escaped, because they could have killed Tabitha in the scene if they really wanted to. As good as skilled she is,
Tabitha is kind of like, she's a character that stuck around a lot longer than I thought she would. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, same thing with Gilzine. We're so lucky Gilzine's endured.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm amazed. Again, Tabitha, I didn't expect her to die because I figured they were going to run away. But I'm just saying, again, had she stuck around, she would have been killed. There was no way she's a match for a Talon.
Right. Okay, let's see. So
let me get the most gruesome death.
Oh God! Oh my God! Yes. Let's talk through it.
So the harbor master's like strapped to the chair and saying, "Oh, I didn't tell him nothing. I didn't tell him who. I didn't tell him what." Because the idea is like working for Falcone. They were like we don't mention who it's connected to. We don't mention the court. We don't mention the dock. Any transactions, like we keep it going. We don't ask questions. Talon just walks up, not a word is uttered, and with one foul stroke of the sword, beheads him.
And the funny thing is, Dragon, that might be the most brutal thing we've seen in the series so far. But the
Fish Mooney thing is still the most brutal thing we ever saw.
Okay, but I still think both of those moments kind of get upstaged by what Penguin does to Gabe coming up.
I wouldn't go that far. Come on.
Man.
What he does to Gabe, that's slim pickings. Come on. I'm saying
really?
Fish Mooney took a spoon, gouged her own eye out, and stepped on it. How is that comparable to...
She did that to herself, though. I'm saying, like, this is the most brutal act of violence on another person.
I don't know. I mean, he's killed people in a similar... Again, he killed the sandwich guy with one stab like this, but anyway.
Oh, I guess it's just the way they shoot it. Anyways, I'm sorry. Let's talk through it.
Okay, let's see. We have the cannoli distraction going on.
Right.
So so Penguin and Ivy, they are tied to their chairs, and they're kind of they're auctioning Penguin off, taking their photos to make sure he's alive. Kind of like the newspaper thing. You're just going to make sure, okay, well, he's alive at this juncture, kind of that sort of thing. So anyway, while they're distracted, Ivy and Penguin get in the chat, and then Ivy knows she's going to be fine because of the perfume.
Mm-hmm.
Penguin's desperate, he's asking what's going to happen. She just wants Penguin, like, come on, you're going to make me beg? No, I just want you to be nice to me, for starters. Is that so much to ask?
I don't know. These kids are adorable, man. They really are.
I'm loving it at Ivy. She just wants a friend, and Penguin's looking for a friend. These two
it's
are
kind of
made
like
for
the
each other.
hypothetical. It kind of reminds me of the hypothetical young, like, little Norma Bates, or little Norma Bates and little Jimmy McGill.
I think you're right. Yes.
Oh God.
But yeah. I agree with that, and I think it's so fitting that again they're both kind of looking for friends, and Penguin's looking for a loyal friend, which Ivy is just looking for kind of that. As long as Penguin never like kills a plant, he'll be fine.
Right.
I think she's just asking for like pleasantries. That's all. It's like, is it so much to ask for you to be nice, to be a little civil? And then he asks nicely. And I love how we see Penguin's now just like he's not pretending to be nice. He actually is he's calming down. He's being nice. He's asking, okay, what's the plan? What do you have? And then she gets one of the thugs to come over and basically wants to give Penguin up or give information up, and she basically gets the guy to come in for a whisper. And as he's in close, she gets him to smell the perfume.
Do you like my perfume?
Which means the guy, he is now a mind-controlled lackey. Who's then ordered, and I love this. The Penguin's giving the orders, and Ivy has to relay the orders. And this is basically kill everyone in the room, and bang, bang, bang. Wait, and then it's then untie me. Unties him, and the Penguin grabs him and shoots the guy point blank in the head, and then now he has Gabe at gunpoint, and oh boy, it's
and then Ivy this is adorable. Ivy gets caught up in the moment, just like, untie us. Sorry, I got cut off in the moment. I mean, that's adorable, man. I love that. Oh my god!
Again, they are
camera. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous.
It is a fun. It's a very fun pairing, the two of these characters together, because again, they have the kind of neat chemistry, and they're both kind of the oddballs, kind of paired together at last. So again, you never would imagine, given the Ivy we started with, the little girl Ivy. You never would
right.
This one kind of makes some sense. Again, it's so funny. You and I have been calling that she was going to be paired with the Mad Hatter. It's so weird.
I think that still might happen.
I'm still down for it. I'm saying I think now she's a little inseparable with the Penguin. We'll see how the Penguin. Maybe it depends how the Penguin stuff wraps up. Maybe.
No, I'm thinking we'll see an arc where Penguin rescues her from the Mad Hatter. I think that's how that might go down.
I didn't think of that. I think that sounds good. I like that idea. Okay, so Penguin mentions that maybe he'll auction Gabe off to himself piece by piece. Meanwhile, the court is discussing what to do about Jim. They're having a little powwow meeting. Again, very intimidating. Our guys with their masks on.
Just full masks. Just full-on masks.
Yep, and I love that everyone but Frank has the mask on, because they're kind of interrogating him. They're asking him what to do, and of course I love the court saying, well, we really could use Jim Gordon. He could be very integral to our plans. It's unfortunate we're going to lose him, but if he's asking too many questions, if he risks exposing the court, then obviously he has to go. And then Frank realized he volunteers to do it because it's his responsibility. And then of course Frank must kill him. James Gordon must be killed. Oh, God.
Dun, dun, dun.
Speaking of which, Jim gets a call from his Uncle Frank. He was asking Frank if he knew about the weapon. Of course, Frank always diverts away from the question. Frank says he needs to meet with him. He needs to meet with him at the place. Meanwhile, Penguin's asking Gabe very point blank, how could he do this to him? Gabe, how could you betray me like this? And Gabe is.
I love Gabe playing to his sentiments. He's like, look, buddy, I was the only one there for you after your mother was killed, and you had no one else to turn
Which is true.
And I genuinely do think Penguin's affected by this just a little bit, because Penguin's like, yeah, that's a valid point.
But remember, he is actually considering giving him a second chance because of that.
Right. Like, I do love how the tension of the scene plays out, where it's like, of course, by the end of it, we see what happens. But I gotta say, Dragon, I was leaning towards the side of Penguin's not going to kill Gabe. So I was surprised. This kind of played with my expectations.
Honestly, what I thought was going to happen is just they were going to use Gabe but keep him under constant mind control, like Gilzine.
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen too. Yeah,
it would be like the brainwash Gilzine we had.
Sure.
Well, not brainwash. Kind of the mind control.
Whatever the hell that was. Yeah.
But let's see. So. And here's the thing. So I love that. What I really loved about this idea is that I think he genuinely considered it because of what he learned with Ivy. Is that perhaps loyalty must be extended before its return, because he was loyal. There was a little bit of loyalty between Ivy and him, and then the favor was returned. So he realized maybe I was wrong with my approach, and I should have treated Gabe nicer. And had I treated Gabe nicer, maybe I could avoid this, because I treated Ivy nice and it paid off. I like this kind of learns.
I love how he's trying to cue Ivy with the perfume, but she's not getting it. Like,
yep.
I think we'll have to do something to ensure that your oath of loyalty is noble and true. And then Ivy just doesn't get it.
What now?
They can smell your perfume. That's really fun.
Yeah. And then Gabe, under the influence of the perfume, with his hand raised, he reveals that he will betray Penguin. He was never loyal, which is kind of sad. Like, Gabe was never loyal. Gabe was never loyal. He followed Penguin out of fear, not out of fear. Then Penguin's initially was thinking, well, I can live with fear and respect. This is not respect. We never respected you. And I love this line. It's so cutting. And I love. We'll get into this in a second with Penguin's character. But the line is. all we ever saw you as was a tiny freak who used to hold an umbrella. That's all you ever were.
And then I just have down in my notes, he used the F word.
Yep, kind of from again, very similar to the Joker and the Joker in Harley Quinn and Joker versus the Real World.
Sure, right.
You do not call Joker. You don't call Gotham villains freaks. They don't like that. But I really do love this too, and this plays on kind of the emphasis of kind of the genesis of Penguin's character in general, but especially in Gotham, because many times with the Penguin, of course, the classic origin of the Penguin is that he was bullied and that turned him into a bad guy. Essentially, he's bullied for his appearance, and he became kind of the guy who owned his appearance and became a feared crime boss in Gotham.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in Gotham, he's always been like called names and stuff, and hence the Penguin name, the origin of the Penguin name. I don't like to be called that. He killed those. He killed.
Sure. Okay, so yeah, like I said, the use of the F word really sets Penguin off, and he grabs a gardening tool, Dragon. What's the correct terminology for this gardening tool? I have it as a gardening axe. Is that correct?
It's not an axe. It's like I read it as like one of those little. Not a scooper, but it's like you know how you have like those things like those pie
the gardening
things?
Tool with the 3 things on it, right? Like the 3-pointed blade.
Like a gardening prong or something. I don't know.
Right. But point being, a very sharp gardening object, death by gardening object, and I gotta say, Dragon, I did think it was a pretty brutal death. I mean, with the blood and everything, it was pretty visceral.
One bicep, I just thought it was like kind of your average kind of gardening, like kind of like the trowel. I think it might be a trowel.
A good trowel, that's it. That's
like the triangular, what I'm talking about, like the triangular
trowel,
pointed thing.
It
looks kind of like one of those things you scoop pie with, but it was like all rounded.
Harry Osborn perks up pie.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I think it's a trowel.
Yeah.
I think they kind of killed him, stabbed him to death with a trowel, which is a brutal death, I'll give you. But still, I don't think it's brutal as against stomping on your own eye.
All right, fair enough.
You're right, though. The way it's shot, though, again, I love that they kind of mirrored the way the blood spattered in the first episode. I don't know how intentional it is, or maybe it's the same technique. I don't know, because the way the blood spattered when Penguin stabbed that guy in the neck, it's like it's the from the first episode for the sandwich. It kind of it spattered on the toolbox the same way on the fishing box, the same way it spatters on the window here, all bubbly and icky. So and the infuriated Penguin has murdered in a very stabby. Gets into a murderous stabby rage. We have the two Gordons greeting each other, guns drawn, and have a little fireside chat.
Oh yeah.
So basically, they kind of show their cards here.
Frank's being very upfront. He's basically like, "Look, there needs to be someone to replace you on the court because you have a seat on the court."
Yes, I'm supposed to kill. I'm supposed to kill you. We need a replacement to take down the court. It's only be one of us leaving this room. It needs to infiltrate the court. If Jim can show him that this was a personal matter, basically what Frank extends him, basically kind of coaxes him on what to say to the court vows. Basically, if Jim can show them that this was a personal matter, basically like something that was between him. It was between him and Frank, not him versus the court. He's not trying to expose the court. That they could still accept him because they still need him and would like him on the Court of Owls. And then he tells me a woman named Catherine will call you at some point. Pick up and you tell her, again, there's no beef with the court. It's just a personal matter. You killed him because I deserved it. Mm-hmm. And then the final words that Frank has here, and there's a powerful final words, really nice. He says, "You have his strength." Basically talking about Peter. You have his strength. Finish what he started for both of us. He would have been so proud of you, and then he shoots himself in the head. Oh boy, it's a tragic death. Gordon's Jim didn't want to kill Frank.
Tragic but noble, I think.
Yes,
because,
and again, it's
because he knows that exact circumstance and wording is the only way that Gordon's going to get out of it is with Frank dead, or else the court will not stop pursuing Gordon. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It is a very noble sacrifice and very telling of someone like what I love just getting a glimpse of kind of the Gordon family, kind of the honor and nobility they have. Mm-hmm. And something, I don't know if I mentioned this. I mentioned this before. I might have mentioned this last episode because we had a scene somewhat touching on this, but it's because it's kind of the last thing with Frank is that what we see with the Gordon family is kind of the sense of honor and and kind of their battles with corruption. And I like that's kind of the added spoke to the wheel we've had with Gordon in this series of, especially in season 2, we've seen him. He's kind of fallen prey to corruption in some form, not willingly, but he's fallen prey to corruption.
Sure.
And of course, this whole season's been built on Gordon kind of winning his way, kind of earning his way back to kind of to lawfulness. And we get a sense it's kind of almost like a family it's almost like an honor code predisposition, almost like not a genetic predisposition. It's kind of like the Gordon family being involved with the Core Vows, which again kind of makes Gordon's thing make even more sense. And if you look at the series, is that hey, the Gordon family they were involved with the wrong people, but for good reasons, and it just kind of turned into this the most corrupt system in Gotham history. They had and they regretted it instantly. Peter Gordon was going to do the right thing, get out of it, and then Frank had to kill his own brother, which again is another corrupt action he's been haunted by and ended up killing himself. Again, I love this kind of adding that pathos and that kind of that family history to the Gordon family. It's really neat. These are layers we never got into Gordon's family, so this is kind of neat.
Yeah,
stuff.
You're right. Okay. Yeah. So so let's see. So basically, back to Ducard. I'm sorry, the shaman. I'm sorry.
Bruce attempts a surprise attack on the shaman. He instantly regrets it. I love how they capture this dude, David Mazouz, how he just kind of captures this whole, I'm sorry, don't do it again. I love how terrified he is of him doing it again. He does not want to experience Crime Alley again. He instantly regrets
sure.
The guy. And you needle to the head, and then he views the murder again. He can't prevent it, and it's the empty alley. And as the alley's empty after the murder, as he tries to stop it, all disappears. He just angrily attacks the shaman, and and unfortunately the shaman's just too skilled. I just love the anger and Bruce of him.
It's kind of like the shaman. I kind of equate it to like the Matrix, right, where the shaman is just very equipped in being in this state. And so he's just like running circles around Bruce and, like disappearing and reappearing and all that.
Oh, yeah.
So very, go ahead.
Yes. And again, unfortunately, the guy's just too skilled. And then we have this awesome big final hit that he makes. He kind of strikes him in the chest, which kind of flings him across the alley, which is awesome.
Again, kind of Doctor Strange-esque a little bit.
Yeah. Kind of Madame Gao-esque too, but no, it's not split hairs.
Sure, I can see that. Yeah.
So then he says, I have so much to teach you, Bruce. Yet your pain blocks you from who Gotham needs you to become. Really good line. Again, the shaman is all.
Yeah, and of course that's just like oh boy, like Max Thero's like or Max Tyrion. I'm sorry, Max Tyrion. It's like it's about to be my turn. It's coming up.
It's gonna dye my hair and I'll be perfect. Anyway, so Bruce awakens, after kind of getting the stuffing knocked out, and we find out that the physical injuries kind of have translated.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce is asking, "What do you want from me?" I love it. It's not necessarily him asking, "What do you want from me?" Like I don't.
Just kind of like, what do I need to do to like just cooperate and have you just not torture me? Essentially,
less that, more just like I have no idea how to accomplish what you're telling me you want.
Right.
Again, I like the fact that if it's like this kind of this rule of thumb of cryptic training. If you ask a question, you're not getting an answer.
Yoda.
Yes, if you ask a question, you're gonna get no answer. But if you just kind of share kind of a feeling, then you'll get some wisdom and direction. That's kind of the way it works. It's kind of the quid pro quo of training.
Right.
So let's see. In response to Bruce's kind of acknowledgement there, we learn that for centuries, building reveals. For centuries, crime and violence has plagued Gotham. And again, building the history of Gotham, all this again sweet spots, hidden sweet spot. For centuries, crime and violence has plagued Gotham. They've tried ending it. We've tried ending it, only for it to start again. Mm-hmm. The reason. People are afraid. Fear builds hopelessness. Basically, fear breeds hopelessness. And again, I love this idea. I'll hit on that in a second. Fear breeds hopelessness. Bruce is questioning, why should I believe? How should I believe? For what reason should I believe that you care about Gotham? How do I know you really care about Gotham? I care about it very much.
Oh yeah.
It needs something only you can provide. What? A protector, Bruce. I can't protect Gotham by myself. No one can. Oh, these are so, it's so wonderful.
I know. It's like you're just reading word for word, but I don't blame you. It's just all really good stuff.
If you were a symbol against fear, then Gotham can be reborn.
Yeah.
Then Gotham can be reborn. Oh,
So
guys,
really quick, what I love about this is that it just like, of course, like I'm sorry, Dragon. I hate to dance around the issue, but I feel like these guys are higher than Court of Owls. I feel like this is the League of Shadows, right?
Yeah, like I think we can say at least that much. You know, it's
right. And so I love this idea that we have the Court of Owls, and that's kind of like that's sort of like our building tension this season. But then we have something that's even more threatening. However, that more threatening presence is going to build Batman. It's genius.
Yep, and it's something that we really had no idea we would ever get in this series, to be quite honest, because we've had this somewhat. I don't know if maybe it's because they're dancing around it, but we'll see how they go about when we get to the reveals by the end of the season. We get some
sure.
reveals. But the point is, I love that we're tying things together in such an interesting way that is adding more and more logic to the Court of Owls. Like, how have they been around for centuries? Of course. Court of Owls not only has been around for centuries on its own, but it makes all the more sense in the world that it's connected to something else that has been around for centuries.
Mm-hmm. Really cool.
And let's see. So something that I want to acknowledge here is what that whole speech the shaman has. Just it's brilliant. It's great. It's all building Batman. It's all building stuff that Batman needs to become. The idea of like, okay, this force that is controlling the Court of Owls is the Court of Owls is training Batman. It's basically all of this. The Wayne murder was done to create Batman. That is a brilliant idea. That's a new twist on we never really have gotten before. That the Bruce Wayne's parents were killed. We very rarely have we had the conspiracy of Bruce's parents. Sometimes you've had like sometimes it was the mayor who was behind it. Sometimes it was a crime boss. Sometimes it was random crime. We've had those kind of variations. We never had the variation that. And that kind of makes this show a little bit more special. It kind of makes it special, like we're doing a different take on the Batman mythology of, hey, what if the murder of the Waynes was for a very specially constructed purpose that creates Batman, not just in the sense of he becomes Batman on a series of decisions, but no, it was all to create Batman to better Gotham.
It was all like manufactured, like almost factory manufactured.
Exactly. It's like Bruce is kind of captured this inescapable fate. And you got to wonder if he's going to accept it once he finds out again it's all part of this conspiracy. He's learning this all now. We're going to see it kind of takes to this once he kind of gets all the answers, so to speak. And just something with the philosophy here is the whole like people are afraid. Just kind of mentioning that fear breeds hopelessness, and just this idea of he needs someone. He needs eventually Batman. He needs Bruce to be a figure that is against fear. That is completely that is completely fighting against fear. So this is in contrast to Gordon's philosophy from episode 1, where it's like, hey, fear shows us where the edge is. Mm-hmm. Again, Gordon embraces fear. And again, that kind of, I think the shaman has hit over the head with kind of Gordon. Gotham and Gotham in the grander scheme is hopeless. Right now, it's in hopelessness until Batman arrives. It's going to be in its hopeless state. And it's sort of this method of, if Bruce indulges in this, hey, Bruce, you don't have to be afraid. We don't have to you don't have to work with this limitation of fear. It's basically saying, hey, you can have your cake and eat it too, man. You don't need fear at all. If you embrace not having fear, this dangerous delusion of there not being fear, which of course is a self-destructive lifestyle Bruce is going to indulge in later on. You see what I'm saying, though, right? It's like
yeah.
It's like the one parent tells you can have this, the other one says, no, you don't need this at all. Go on, go nuts.
Right.
Which is a recipe
have
for
all
disaster.
The ice cream you want, son.
Okay.
All right, so this is just adorable. Once again, it's like Penguin's just being very, very genuinely nice to Ivy. Like, look, I'm really sorry. I lost my cool. I don't want you to see me like that again. It's embarrassing. Dragon, I can relate to that. Like, I've never killed people in front of anyone. No, I'm kidding. But I have lost my cool. I have very much lost my cool in front of people. So I can very much relate to the aftermath of like, yeah, so that just happened. Yeah.
Well, I read it less as an aftermath, more of a, like, he kind of promised Ivy not to kind of lose, not to get angry at her or anything. So, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Right. Anyways, so this is really cool, Dragon. This is a really cool kind of build up here. So Ivy basically got this info from Selena about Indian Hill and where the people from Indian Hill are currently located. And oh boy, Dragon, they're going to build themselves an army.
An army of freaks.
Army of freaks. Oh yeah. And basically, Dragon, the funny thing about that is it kind of sounds like we're gonna get like a more full circle version of what we were hoping to get at the start of season 3 with like all those characters kind of like out and about. So
yeah, I really like that it's kind of a graduated version of that. It basically what we're doing here, and we're really moving a lot faster than I ever thought we would. And essentially, we're kind of going into season 4 in the second half of season 3, which is really impressive. Where it's we're ushering in we're kind of ushering in the Batman Rogues Gallery while we're ushering in Batman, which is kind of a simultaneous story going on. Basically, by the time Batman's formulated, all the villains will be around.
And the villains at least have some context for who Bruce Wayne is. So
yeah,
that's all very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
so Jim's at his father's grave again, leaving the photo of the three of them, which is again really kind of a nice gesture. It's a little better than leaving flowers, it's a little personal touch. He then gets the call. He gets the call from Catherine.
Perhaps it's just basically saying, like, I make no apologies. I killed my uncle, and I think my uncle deserved it.
Exactly what Frank told him to say. Perhaps it's time we meet.
Oh,
agreed, boy. Catherine says over the phone. And then we see, it's such a great shot. Like, he looks over his shoulder and sees, it's like that great kind of the surprise of the court is always watching. The limousine shot, of course, we know, based on the Falcone scene from earlier in the season. Oh, God, we know Catherine's most likely in that.
Right.
He's either in that limousine, we know that limousine's going to take him to see Catherine. One of the two. So Jim's walking towards it, and it's basically, it's like kind of this, I just love this notion of, like, it says about it, Jim is walking towards the most powerful force of corruption in Gotham's history. Jim Gordon walking into that, I think, is just such a great idea. And I love how it's shot. How again, he outdid himself. We're entering the limousine into darkness, and then we have the Gotham logo appear.
Right.
Again, like the representation of darkness and corruption in Gotham. He's walking right into it. That's awesome.
And I just have in my notes, and here we go. All right, promo, Dragon, promo.
Okay, promo. A lot of good little nuggets we got here.
Yeah.
So,
Big time.
Catherine has a very specific purpose for Jim, and she's waiting to use him for a very specific key purpose.
Might I just say, Corey Michael Smith looks like he's going to kill it this next episode as the Riddler. I am seriously, oh my God, Dragon, just the little bits that we've seen in the promo, like he really looks like he's all in on this.
Oh, yeah. Boy, oh boy, is he. Penguin's going outside Gotham to recruit Mr. Freeze.
Also, I believe we see Firefly as well, right?
Yes, we see the army formed, at least the beginnings of it, where it's going to be Penguin, Ivy, Firefly, and Mr. Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting because Firefly and Mr. Freeze have not gotten along, which is going to be kind of fun to see. Again, I hope they really step up their game, Mr. Freeze, because I wasn't crazy what they did with him at the end of last season, but I love Nathan Barrows.
Yeah,
I love
that
the
was
actor.
the lead point of last season. Yeah,
because we love the beginnings of Mr. Freeze and we love the actor on Mr. Freeze. So hopefully they can. But again, they've done so great this season, so we'll see if they can.
Sure.
I got to see Enigma's crashing this medieval play. It looks like. To announce his crime.
I hope it's just straight up a medieval times.
I don't know. I think it's going to be like a Richard III or something.
Yeah, I know. Anyways,
big huge detail we do get here is that Enigma's trying to get the court's attention with Barbara and Tab. Barbara and Tab's help.
Yeah, so it's basically just as the promo lays out, villains versus villains, which is very exciting.
And basically, it seems
Oswald's crew versus Riddler's crew.
But also, our villains are targeting the Court of Owls. So that's a big deal,
right?
And then we get it's the big crux of the next episode. It seems with this promo is that it's up to Jim. Catherine tells Jim it's up to him to stop them before, so the court does not get exposed. Because if these villains are targeting the Court of Owls publicly, that's going to be very bad for the court. It's going to be like a test of loyalty in the next episode. Last shot we get is Enigma holding the mayor hostage. Most likely Aubrey James, but holding the mayor hostage. You're no match for me. And I think he's talking to the court with that, by the way. That's who I think he's at. He might be talking just kind of in general, like the police or whoever's wants to dare stop him. I'm hoping that's the Court of Owls. He's talking just for the cool factor of that. Okay, speculation.
Okay, we have 3 episode titles to go over. Obviously, 17 is the Primal Riddle. I'm sorry for the mix-up last time, but yeah, Primal Riddle. I just think is definitely Riddler kind of taking his act to the utmost degree and really kind of coming to town on it. And then maybe also something like in terms of Primal, maybe like Primal Riddle also has to do with the maze and like would-be Ducard and all that as well. Perhaps
that would be a good juxtaposition. We have Bruce's story just kind of about unfolding the riddle of why he's there, like what stuff he needs to do, and of course the escaping the labyrinth in the meantime, that sort of stuff.
Okay, episode 18 is Light the Wick, and I'm going to go ahead and guess that this is going to be a Selena-focused episode with both Firefly and Ivy involved, and because Light the Wick, it sounds like a Firefly title, so...
Maybe, yeah. Oh, wait, you know what it might be, too? It might be, if not that, I mean, that might be our A story or something. I think the B story again with Bruce might be like, that's going to be like a training exercise with Lighting the Wick, probably.
Could be. Then finally, very cryptic, all will be judged.
Oh, God. I haven't heard about the other. I only knew about Primal, really. I didn't know what the other two were.
Yeah,
all will be judged. Oh, God, that's going to be so good.
Yep.
Oh, the court of house judging someone.
Okay. So really quick, we're getting on to the hour and a half mark. So let's get through our spec.
Okay, you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let's see. So again, I still think we're going to reveal at some point that the shaman is Ducard, which will then shortly after that, maybe an episode or two, we'll get again depending on. I think we have like 6 episodes left. We have
17, 18, 19. Yeah, you're right. 6, 20, and then importantly, Dragon 21 and 22 are going to be airing on the same night.
Yes, I heard they were doing a 2-parter thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that okay. Regardless, I think
so. We got 5 weeks left.
We might have. I would imagine our last 2 episodes, either the last one or basically either the last one or the last 2 will reveal who the big boss is.
Okay.
So the point is, again, I think it's pretty safe bet 2 cards. The shaman, again, shaman right now. Nigma.
Honestly, if he's not, I just kind of feel sort of jerked around a little. Like, what? He's so similar to Ducard. How was he not Ducard?
I'm just saying, to be fair, Bruce has had a lot of teachers, but the most famous one is always Henry Ducard. That's why. It's like that's the. Whenever he goes to the Himalayas, it's always Ducard. So I'm just saying that's usually that's the correlation. Nigma. Okay, the big thing I'm really speculating on Nigma's, and I have like kind of 2 options. And then I think Nigma's. Nigma uncovers the Court of Owls as the people who control Wayne Enterprises because we set that up last season. And he was really intrigued by who Hugo Strange was working for, because that he gave him the riddle to find out how much Bruce Wayne knows, and he again is super intrigued by that. So that's a riddle probably bouncing around Nigma's head, which I think might be the driving force of the Primal Riddle, like who's in charge, who runs Gotham. That'd be the Primal Riddle in question.
Right.
So that, like, either Nigma already knows, and he's been continuing that, which I'm hoping for that one. Otherwise, and this would still work, I'm just saying based on the evidence, because we saw Nigma, Barbara, and Tabitha. I think Barbara could be seeking Nigma out to find out, who the Court of Owls, who sent the Talon after him. Basically, she wants to know, like, what the heck was that? That Talon killer sliced up everyone, cut that guy's head off. What's going on? And this will lead Nigma to discover it's the Court of Owls, and he'll relish the challenge of publicly defeating or exposing the Court of Owls for basically proving that he controls Gotham. He's the smartest mind in Gotham. That'll be his way of doing it, kind of taking on the top power, which will be the big tense thing if Gordon has to stop Nigma before the Court of Owls gets exposed. And I think that could be another way to go about the next episode. One of those 2.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I think Nigma's going to be challenging the Court of Owls. So however we get there, that's my big prediction. Let's see. I think just Nigma being very public will provoke Penguin's army to attack Nigma.
Sure.
I think the ending of next episode will have the army gather. I don't think we're going to Penguin directly attacking them. I think we're going to set that up by the end. Like, he's going to have them all gathered by the end of next episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one last thing. Sorry.
Okay.
One last
thing. No.
I think Riddler is going to be instrumental in taking down the Court of Owls because he's going to find out about him. So I think he's going to uncover something that's going to defeat the Court of Owls. I think Riddler's going to be key.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have much spec. I definitely think that the Ivy and Penguin dynamic is going to grow stronger, and I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I think that we're going to get some resolution between Ivy, Selena, and Firefly sometime in the future. My spec is more kind of just based on characters, and your spec is kind of more broad spectrum, story stuff. So I think maybe that's kind of where I'm coming at. Stupid camera! I'm so sorry, Dragon.
Getting a little dizzy.
I know. Wow. Okay. So let's see. So Ivy and Penguin. Like I said, Dragon, I really do think that a very compelling episode would be the Mad Hatter kidnapping Ivy and Penguin going after the Mad Hatter.
I really like that idea. I like that. It's a good idea.
Let's see. Of course, we only have so much time to work with. So I definitely think that Gordon's going to be undercover with the court. I definitely think he's going to let Bullock in on it, and
well, he already is in on it, so I'm glad we already got that out.
Sure.
Yeah, Bullock's already
but we're probably going to have some fun, like, Jim, what are you doing? These people are madmen.
I gotta tell you, I'm gonna lose it if Jim puts. He's probably gonna have to, but they might go through like an initiation sort of thing. I'm gonna lose it if Jim Gordon puts a Court of Owls mask on him, I hope again that could happen. But then again, he might be in like kind of the initiation stages of it, so you never know.
Okay, important prediction, Dragon. Important prediction. I think based on the crate that the Doomsday weapon might be a person or character.
Yes, could be Solomon Grundy. We haven't seen him. Now, he is a zombie, so maybe he has a sickness that would spread to Gotham and kill everyone.
I'm going to make a wild prediction just because I heard this guy's name come up at some point with Season 3, like they were tossing around people that might be involved. Could it perhaps be Bane?
Well, there was a line there was a line in this episode that did make me somewhat think of Bane. It was really something I thought I kind of wrote off as coincidence. Basically, just kind of like I think some of the shaman stuff with Bruce just kind of reminded me of kind of Bane's training a little bit. Bane's kind of Santa Prisca experience. I'm just saying we're going to have a character we never would have expected showing up this show. So again, I can't really rule Bane out anymore. But I don't. Again, I'm just saying Solomon Grundy was announced, but then again, that could have been. We had Mad Hatter announced in Season 2, and he didn't show up till Season 3, so you never know.
Of course. I think it's a long shot, but how cool would it be?
That would be cool. Whatever it is, I'm convinced Hugo Strange attached to whatever in that crate, because we're going to see Hugo Strange again.
Oh, yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned Hugo Strange. Yeah, because, of course, he should be coming back with I'd say maybe not this episode, but the episode after, or episode 18, I believe, possibly is when we'll see Strange again.
Definitely, he's going to be either the last two or the one before it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, let's see. And then I guess last thing I got is in terms of Labyrinth stuff, Dragon. I honestly hope it's kind of a mixture of Bruce kind of like learning his way around the physical labyrinth, right? Like the one he's actually in. And then sort of like the weird, trippy metaphysical stuff coming from the hallucinations and the needles and whatnot. So I think we're going to get a combination of a physical labyrinth with some of the trippiness kind of brought on through, like you said, through more realistic purposes.
I know it's going to be really cool, just because it's on Bruce's mind, so at least it would somehow factor in. Room full of owls.
Yeah.
Or at least like an God, it just came to me. What if through those we have we build the image of the bat flying towards it.
Sure.
What if like initially it's like an owl flying towards him, and then like another thing, then it's like a bat, and then the owl's chasing the bat, like the image from the Court of Owls book. So we have the owl and the bat.
I love that. Right.
Be cool.
What about? I mean, it probably wouldn't be possible just because like Bruce isn't grown yet, and we don't have Batman. But of course, I love the shot of like the bat monster Batman, or like the owl bat monster.
Oh yeah.
Okay, anyways, that's about all I got for Spec Dragon. Final thoughts?
So final thoughts. I've been waiting for this episode. I have since the beginning of the season, since we knew we were getting Court of Owls. So this is one of my bucket list episodes for this season, for the whole series, to be honest with you. I've been waiting for this episode. Again, I thought it was the direction was fantastic by Ben McKenzie. Again, he's really well. I was wondering how it was going to go, because it was his first time, and it's just Again, I had no idea it was going to go. I thought, okay, will be nice. Just like a little kind of, oh yeah, he directed this. And I was hoping for the best, but oh my, he really impressed me this one. And just, it was paired with like a really important episode. It was super satisfying. I was just jazzed out of my mind. After this episode, I'm still jazzed out of my mind for season 3 more than I already was. So I'm very, very satisfied with this episode. One of my favorites, to be honest. I don't know how the ranking's going to go at the end of the season. We had a lot of really good episodes this season, especially in the beginning.
Right.
But honestly, I think right now it's between this one and the one we had where it was Jerome versus Bruce. I mean, it's kind of between those two.
Yeah, I agree. I very much agree. It's between those two. Yeah.
But this one was really good. It might be the best one. I'm saying I had like no problems at all with this one. I really loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I very much agree with Dragon. I think this is. I think the stuff with Jerome might be a little bit more like fun, and maybe I think the stuff with Jerome is just a little bit more satisfying because I think it tells a more standalone story than this does, where this is setting up a lot of plot points.
True.
But having said that, this is still a fantastic episode. Great debut by Ben McKenzie. Easily in the top 2 of season 3, right up there with the Jerome episode, I think.
Oddly, both Snyder related.
Very fantastic work. A lot of fun character dynamics. Love the stuff with Penguin and Ivy. Really cool stuff with the Court of Owls. And again, like you said, it's just all about what we're building towards. So fantastic stuff. All right, Dragon, and go ahead and sign us out.
So remember, kids, no matter how dark and scared the world may be right now, there will be light. There will be light.
Until next time, when we go exploring Gotham yet again.
They'll send the talent for your head.
Nobody